everybody. Um, so I always wondered how it would be like if, what if my day didn't end up as how I planned, and um, I didn't live today like how I, thought it would be, or how I wanted it to be. And so I thought about how that would be like sharing with people, and it was one of those days today, and I was really um, it was a really hard day. I had like a conversation with one of my closest friends, like the one that I wrote to, and it was difficult because she definitely pointed out things that were that we were struggling with as friends, and it was really hard to hear. And I realized that, you know, feedback is always tough, and I thought I handled it. I thought I handled feedback well, and I realized that there are certain things that still hurt me, but it was good because me and her got to talk it through, and we're gonna be talking again tomorrow. And so anyway, for the most part, the day was pretty good. Like, I complimented people and everything. I haven't gotten to write any letters yet, or any of the or my application yet. But then when I got home, I really wanted to just paint, and I was painting my present for my friend Regina, and but I wanted to start painting something that was for me, like something which I rarely do. And so I pulled out a canvas and I started painting, and it was so ugly, and I was so angry. And so I tried to, like, just kind of paint over it, and then I used black, and then I tried to paint over that, but then the black just spread everywhere. And so I tried to make flowers, but then it didn't work either. And after a while, I just kind of broke down. I had a mental breakdown. It was so crazy. And, like, I was so frustrated, and I got really scared, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like, I can't make anything beautiful. And at that moment, like, I just started crying. and I thought I was going crazy because I didn't even know what was wrong, and it's kind of stupid to cry over painting, like, whatever. And then I thought about it, and I realized, like, how terrified I am that in life, whether it's relationships or a painting or baking or even in my career, that I'm gonna, like, that at the end of the day, like, what if I don't make anything beautiful? Whether it's like a beautiful friendship or a beautiful relationship or a beautiful anything. And I was so scared at that moment, and I just, like, broke down, and I like was begging, like, I was like, I need to go outside, I need to find something beautiful, I need to go outside and, like, go anywhere and see something beautiful. And it was like almost like 10 o'clock, and I was like, no, like, it's so late, you can't go out for a walk, it's too late. And I just, like, cried. I was like, please, like, I need to see something beautiful. And I just broke down. I was just crying, and, like, afraid of just, like, I couldn't paint over the ugly things. Like, I was afraid that, like, I was gonna get stuck not making things beautiful. And I don't know if I sound crazy, but that's, like, I just totally fell apart. And like, that's how my day went today. And I learned that like, as I kept trying to paint over it, I couldn't let the former layers dry, and so I couldn't paint something more beautiful on top of it. And I realized, just saying it now, that, like, there are certain things, like, maybe in my life that I'm trying to paint over, but I haven't let that bottom part dry yet, so the picture will come through. And I have to kind of I had to put everything aside. I had to put the canvas aside and let that paint dry before I can paint over it. No matter how ugly it was, I had to deal with it and let it dry, and before I can make something beautiful out of it. And so I realized that sometimes life or paintings aren't always going to be beautiful at the get-go, and that there's going to be ugly parts. and um, the harder that we try sometimes to paint over it as much as we can and get over it immediately, that we have to like even the ugly times, we have to let it dry before we can paint things over it and make it beautiful. And so I learned today, and I'm still trying to figure out what those things are that I need to let dry and before I can paint over them. So still working on it. And but I do want to show you guys, like, one thing that I did accomplish is that after a while, after stepping away from just that ugliness of a painting that I attempted at, I managed to put something together. I mean, it's not like the prettiest painting I ever made or anything, but I want to show you guys like the final painting that I got to make tonight. And you can tell my hands, other than painting my hands and I think my face right here, I did get to create some things. I'm going to show you guys, and I didn't really use a picture or anything, I just kind of painted it, so I guess that was a mission accomplished. So let me show you guys, give me just a second, I'm going to bring it up right now. So yes, so this is the painting that I made. Yeah, not really sure why that of anything. I think I really like blues and sunsets and stuff, and I guess it was more of the process of creating it that was more of the artistic part than the actual final piece. But so that was my day today, and it wasn't the greatest day ever, but I learned a lot. And I guess as a heads up, life isn't always how we planned it, and in those moments when things are really ugly, we have to let those things dry and before we can start painting over them. So whether it's a hurt, we can't just brush over it. We can't just like, oh, I'm over it right now. We have to let those things heal before we can make it pretty again. So still trying to figure out what those things are, and in my life that's kind of that I need to let dry before I can paint over it, and which ones I can finally paint over now. So that was my day, and yeah, I got one thing done. So yeah, so have a blessed day, you guys. And even when things are really hard and your days aren't the most perfect ever, there's always something to learn, and I think that part makes life pretty beautiful. So yeah, so have a blessed day, guys, and sorry this one was a little bit more depressing, but still learned a lot, so it's good. Good night. Bye.